Hello fellow book nerds, this is Gabby and I have read the Sapphic Trifecta. Welcome to another video. Like I said in the intro, I have read the Sapphic Trifecta. So if you don't know what Sapphic Trifecta is, it's when you have read the Unbroken by C.L. Clarke, She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker-Chan, and Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. I don't have Jasmine Throne, I'm sorry. But I'm doing my best. You know, it's fine. I'm doing my best. So I've seen all over Twitter everyone posting their photos of their Sapphic Trifecta and how they have got it. Like I said, I only have 2 books out of the 3, but I have read all of them and I got the ebook for Jasmine Throne, and I actually probably want a physical copy, but maybe not right now. So why not have this quick fun video where I tell you what I thought about 3 of them and I'm ranking them from best to worst and telling you if they're worth it. Just to let you know, I have read all of these books in different videos, and I have a dedicated review for She Who Became the Sun, and I have a vlog where I read Unbroken and Jasmine Throne. So if you watch all of my videos, this might be a little bit boring, but I appreciate if you stick around anyway. Let's start with the bottom. The 3rd place, the book that I think is the lesser of the Saphics, you know? And that is, unfortunately, The Unbroken by C.L. Clarke. So in this book we follow Romaine, who's a soldier, and she gets drafted by this princess called Luca to go and infiltrate the rebels, or like negotiate with rebels basically. You know, Sapphic romance, high adult fantasy, and it's like a military driven fantasy because Romaine's a soldier and it's all about political maneuvers and stuff. And I must say, I was a bit disappointed. I found this book okay. There was nothing wrong with it, but at the same time, there was nothing right with it. That's a bit harsh. It was like, alright, I found it enjoyable when I was reading. I had a bit of a hard time finishing, and I just felt like I was trudging for mud. Maybe because I was on a deadline and I kept like postponing reading it, and then I waited like 2 weeks and all of a sudden the video was up and I didn't finish it yet, and it was like a whole thing. Maybe that's a part of it, but I have read 2 books recently that I was like, okay, I have 4 days to read it, and I read them in 2. So it's not like the time pressure usually gets to me. I also found the romance to be the least compelling. I do think that the romance was the least developed in this one, not because it wasn't like hinted or whatever, and it was just the most slow burn, and I didn't really get it. Like, I enjoyed that the characters were brave enough to like admit to each other that to themselves that they feel attracted and all of that, and I enjoyed that there wasn't, as far as I remember, there wasn't like any homophobia. There was different queer couples as well, so I enjoyed that. But overall, I was just not convinced. Like, I liked Romaine. I don't even know if I liked Luca that much. So yeah, I would say this one, unfortunately, belongs to the 3rd place, and I am unfortunately unhauling it as well. I have pulled it from my haul just for this video, but I'm gonna be getting rid of it. I just think someone else can love it, but that someone's not me. In place number 2 is She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker-Chan. So this book is a gender-bent retelling of the rise of the Ming Dynasty in China. So the main character is a peasant, and she is a girl and has a brother who was promised this fortune of greatness, and she was promised a fortune of nothing basically. And her brother dies prematurely, so she claims his fate and becomes him. So she goes to a monastery it's all for boys, and she pretends to be a boy and grows up in the monastery. This is another high adult fantasy. It's kind of like a military one as well. It's also quite politically involved. There's a lot of political maneuvering and all of that. So I don't know what it is about the Saphics that want to be like political, but apparently they do. I actually really loved this book. I gave it 5 stars, and I think the romance wasn't like really good. The gender identity conversation was really good. I immensely enjoyed the plot. It was very complex, very involved, and I loved how it was a retelling of real history. Like, historical fantasy is my jam. So I really loved this one. I think, like I said, the romance was so strong. The 2 characters just had so much chemistry, but also it made sense. What they represented to each other as well was really powerful. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was brilliantly written as well. The fact that it's debut, I mean, all of these are debuts, but still, it was just like breathtaking. I cannot wait for the second book. And oh, Ju Chong-ba is just my bitch. So I love her and I love this book. And that means in the first place we have the Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. So in this book we follow a princess who gets exiled from her kingdom and she gets trapped in this old monastery. There's a handmaiden and there's a romance. There's so much more to it than that. It's another adult fantasy, I believe. Another one with a lot of political intrigue, and like, I love this book so much. I gave it 5 stars. The reason why it's number 1, I don't know why, but I just found it so compelling, especially the journey of the 2 main characters. I think the 2 love interests as well, they had a cool time to be developed because they both were POV characters. So the Unbroken, they were both POV characters, but in She Who Became the Sun, it's more of an ensemble cast, so you don't really, like, I feel like the romance there, not that it gets lost, but maybe it's just not as fleshed out just because we have the 2 characters. But yeah, I think this one just was so beautiful. I loved seeing like South Asian culture being reflected. I loved the romance. Like I said, I thought it was really well done. The characters just fit together so well and they made so much sense, and I liked how they held each other up and helped each other out. And I really loved the intricacies of the plot as well, the way the world had religion especially. So there were like 2 or 3 or 4 different religions, all of them quite complex, and the magic system as well was really complicated and beautiful, and all of it, I don't know, it just, this one appealed to me so much. If you're gonna read only one, I would recommend this one. It was truly beautiful, the writing was so good as well, everything I loved about this book. And what are you gonna do? Okay, I said a quick video and I guess it is pretty quick. Those were the 3 books making the Sapphic Trifecta. So I actually thought all of them were good. I don't want to shit on the Unbroken. I think it's a really properly nice book and a lot of people really resonated with it, which was great to see. Just personally maybe wasn't for me, maybe a bit too much of the military or the rebels or whatever, I don't know. But She Who Became the Sun and Jasmine Throne are gonna be on the favorite lists for my yearly videos. I thought they were brilliant. I'm so happy that there's so many Sapphic romances coming out and just Sapphic fantasies as well. The fact that we can have such a compelling romance in such compelling stories as well, instead of it being maybe like a contemporary with Sapphic romance, it's more like the big story but there's also romance, which is something I enjoy more. So that's gonna be it from this video. Nice, short and sweet. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you read any of these. If yes, what did you think about them? Do you agree with my rating? That's what I'm really curious about. If you read the whole trifecta, let me know which one do you think should be number 1. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, if you could comment, like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But that's it from me and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!